sitting in the back of a convertible, and we're going on the bike path that I always ride on the weekends. And the reason we're doing it this way is because I've told you before in some of my videos I can't hold a camera on the bike that I ride anymore. And so I thought the easiest way to do this would be to put the top down on the car and sit in the back, and my husband's driving, and I would film as best I can the route that I take. We're on a main road that I start on, and this is the road that the hill is on. So this road is a pretty steady incline from the time I get on it from my house to the hill. It's not a harsh incline, but it is a steady incline. There are a few areas that you can actually take a little break from pedaling uphill, but it is uphill most of the way. I'm going to do a voiceover because it was so windy. All you can hear is wind in the camera. You can't hear me explaining anything. So I'm doing this for the first time, and I'm hoping that I do it correctly, so bear with me. The field to your right usually has a lot of cows out by the fence, but because of the time of day that I'm filming, it's hotter, and so all the cows and everybody, the horses and all, they're more further back in their fields and closer to the shade trees and their barns and stuff. In the morning when I take my bike rides, they're always up by the fence, so I get to see them up close and personal most every time I ride. But I can't film and ride, so I have to film later in the day. My camera work is not that great. Right now I'm trying to show you the cows under the trees out there in the shade, but it didn't work out very well. I'm not used to filming like this, so you just have to bear with me. I will try to do a better job the next time I try to do a video like this for you. But occasionally I move the camera too fast, or I blur it, or I show you the road, or something like that. So anyway, there's a lot of trees, a lot of fields, lots of stuff out here that is just beautiful to look at on the ride. You can't see all of it because in order for me to hold the camera right and show you the path, I can't pan back and forth, but I will show you as much as I can. There's a field coming up on the left that has horses and a mule. They're always up by the fence, the gate, when we drive by in the morning, when we ride by. But today they're not going to be that close because, like I said, it's hotter, so they're further out. But you do see a glimpse of them as we go by. On the way back home, they are closer to the fence because it's later in the day, and I guess maybe closer to feeding time, I don't know, but we get a closer glimpse of them. So you'll get to see them better on the way home. And you're going to see the car in the film occasionally, because when I'm filming, I'm also trying to enjoy the ride and look around. And so I take my eyes off the camera and I peek around the camera so I can see what's actually happening instead of looking through the camera monitor. And so then I get off my target. So sorry. I don't know if there's going to be any parts of this that I fast forward. I don't want to bore you to death with this. So I thought maybe partway through I would do a little fast forwarding. We'll see. I don't know. It just depends. The horses and the mule are coming up on the left in this field after we get past some of these big clump of trees up here. And the mule, you'll see, he's black, and he's going in between the fence line into the gate. There he is right there. You see him. He's going around the corner, and then you see some horses. Now, that's the best shot I got of him because we didn't slow down. But on the way home, we do slow down, and we get a better shot of him. So we're headed toward the big hill. On the right is a field. They've been rolling hay, so there's lots of hay bales out there. Cows are not anywhere to be seen. They're usually laying all up here by the fence and up by that clump of trees there that you see. They walk between the trees and go around to the other side where the other field is, and always hanging out there, but they weren't to be found. I think it was too hot for them. The road to your left that we just passed, there was some property for auction a few months ago, maybe about a month ago, I don't know. We looked at it to see if it was interesting, and it looked interesting, but we got other things going on right now with our other house and stuff in Gatlinburg, so we didn't check into it. And there's more field on the left, and on the right of me also. These fields here, I think, belong to the same people, and there's cows on the left-hand side most of the time. I don't know if they're out today. I can't remember. We might see them. And on the right, that little house that you see, There's a lot of chickens and a lot of baby chickens right now, and they're up there by the road, by the driveway we're passing, but not today. The other day when we drove by, the man was shooing them away from the road and pushing them back to the house. And there's some cows on the right, I think by the little pond. I'm not sure, but I think we see those on the way back too. Yep, there they are. They're under the shade trees by the pond. And there's some babies. Lots of babies around this time of year. And in the background you can see the mountains. They're far away, but you can see them. Where I used to live in Gatlinburg, I actually lived in the mountains. You know, when you look out your door, I saw a mountain. I was like in the mountain. So here's a little difference, a little bit more flat and not as much snow. Around this curve here, starting around here is when I start getting that, I need to start checking my breathing and getting ready for the hill because, you know, psychologically I'm already thinking, oh man, I can't do this, it's too hard. And I will zoom in a minute. You can see the hill right now, but see, I'm zooming in. That is the hill. That's part one of the hill that I'm talking about. And as soon as we get up to the bottom part of that hill is when it starts to get a little more difficult. And you start going really slow. I don't even know how fast the bike goes. I don't even know if it's like 4 miles per hour, maybe less. I don't know. There's 2 rock driveways that I use as guidelines. This is the first one right here. And then the second rock driveway is where I used to have to stop. I used to not be able to go any further than that. This is how hard it is, and it's already difficult right now. And this is where you start breathing hard. And right where I'm pointing, you see my finger, that's where I used to have to stop. Now I can make it to the top. And right here it gets really difficult, and you're breathing hard, and you're struggling, and that pole's coming, and you're thinking, I got to get past the pole. And you're sweating, and you're trembling, and you're shaking, and it's just awful. There's the guardrail. This is the corner. This is where I turned to the right, and I fell against that guardrail. That's where I had my accident. And I go a little bit down the hill to the right and come back up and curve and head back up part 2. This is part 2 we're headed up now. I cannot go straight up this hill. And this is not as hard, but it is still difficult until you get up to where those trees are. This is a long hill, and it's very, very difficult. It may not look hard, but it's very hard. There now. On the way home, they will be on the right side the left side of us. You'll see them when we come home. But right now, they're not there. But usually, they're all on that fence line. This is where some big dogs like chase and bark at us and everything. And we have to sometimes pedal fast through there. The right-hand side is also where a lot of goats hang out. And now we're at the top of the hill. And pretty soon, around that tree, up to right there where I just focused in on the right-hand side, we'll start downhill. And you can breathe and relax and get your mojo back. Beautiful country. Buster's on the couch, and I'm on the other couch, and Bailey's sitting next to me as I talk to you, and Buster's breathing hard, so you might even hear him snoring in this video, even though he's not in the actual video. More land for cows, and there's the cows underneath the trees. And this area we're on now is going downhill, so coming back we have to go uphill again, but it's not near as hard. The right side, there's usually a lot of goats that hang out in this area where there's a lot of old cars, like a salvage yard or something, but I don't see any goats today when we went by. On the way home, they were out, but they were further back. And if you hear shaking around and drinking and stuff, it's me drinking my protein shake while I talk to you. I'm sitting here looking at the recording, what do you call it, controls, and I'm wondering, how do I pause the voiceover so that I can check the video to see if there's any parts I want to fast forward? I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I can sit here and talk to you for a whole 2.5 hours or hour and a half or whatever it is. Here we turn right. They just paved this road a few weeks ago. This has not always been this smooth and paved. And there's usually a bunch of goats out there. And I'm sorry that you don't see them on the way out. Sometimes on the way, some on the way back, you do see some of them. But on the way out, they just weren't around. But they haven't even put the white lines on the road yet. So it's pretty smooth to ride on. It's really nice. There's lots of little country houses out here, old barns. It's just beautiful. It's a nice ride. Hills here and there, up and down, and nothing as bad as that hill, though. After I get over that hill, the rest of the day is a piece of cake. That's another hill we're going up, and it is a little bit difficult, but it's not near as bad as the other hill. So you're thinking, this is child's play. Sometimes we rest where those rocks are, but not so much anymore. It used to be that I had to rest there because I wasn't as good at this and I was tired. But now we travel pretty much to our first rest area, which is a church. And I'll show you the church as we drive by when we get there. I think what I'll do is I'll do the voiceover through the whole video, and then I'll go back and I'll look at areas that are kind of where I didn't talk much, and I'll chop those up and fast forward those. That might be what I'll do. I don't know if you can hear my music in the background or not. I'm downstairs and not in my art room. I'm on the couch and the laptop is on my lap. I have it on a cutting board, actually. And TV's on, but I have it on a radio, all music station, and playing my classical music. And Buster's snoring. I don't know if you hear him now, but he is snoring. A couple of times we've ridden, I see deer crossing the road, and that's just beautiful. The other day we were coming home and a deer jumped out onto the road and stopped. And so we're slowing down to not scare it, and a car is coming the other way, and I'm thinking, oh great, I don't want to see a deer get hit. He finally ran on across the road and was good. I filmed this on Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, or something like that. But anyway, the first film I took, it just got too dark, and I didn't like the film. It didn't turn out well. But there are some shots on that first film that I would like you to see, because we maybe saw something different than we see in this film. Like on the first film, I saw a cow that was close to the fence, and I got a real close-up shot of his face. I'm moving my chair, so if you hear that. So I'm going to go through the first film I took, and I'm going to suck out parts of it. I'm going to edit out parts of it. And so at the end of this video, if you hang in there, I will show you some short clips of some things we saw in the first video. And I'm not moving the camera back and forth, because all there is on the left and right is trees or a house. And it's not, there's nothing really, no fields, nothing in the field or nothing really exciting to look at. So now we do have a camera that fits on helmets. And I'm hoping that, I don't know if my helmet's the kind that it will fit on properly, but I'm hoping that I can figure out a way to get it to fit on my helmet. And then I can turn the camera on my next bike ride, or on a bike ride, and it will film wherever my head is turning. So as I ride, I will be looking at the things that interest me or that catch my eye, or the animals or fields or whatever. And as I turn my head, the camera will go with my head, and you'll see what I'm looking at. So that would be optimal, and that's what I'm going to aim to do for you. And there's some horses back there. In this video, at some point, I'm not sure if it's on the way out or way back, but we run across some horses, and one of them was feeling rather playful, so it ran around a little bit, and I caught that on film for you. It's a little shaky, but it's there. Up here, I don't know what happened, but it looked like a couple guys trying to get a tractor unstuck from someplace. I didn't want to aim the camera at them too much and zoom in too much, because I didn't want to make them mad if they're frustrated, because you know how people can be when they're frustrated with something. But it looked like they were having trouble. We're going to come up to a stop sign, and the little country store that you see up there, like I said, it's just a little country store. I've never even been inside, but my husband goes inside sometimes, because we'll stop there on the way back and get water if we need it. It's called Bojack's. It's just a little store that people gather at and have breakfast and sometimes lunch, and I guess you get gas if you need gas and you're desperate, but it's really expensive there. You'll see the prices when we drive by. Pretty soon, coming up on the left-hand side, is going to be the house where the Australian Shepherd lives. The Australian Shepherd likes to come racing to the road. There's a nice big field. Beautiful. He likes to come racing to the road, and he likes to race you if you're going fast enough for him to try to catch you and race you. If you're going slow, then he just comes up and barks. But today, he happened to be outside. A lot of times when I ride, he's not out. Seems like when my husband goes by himself, the dog's always chases him. But today, we drove by in the car, and he was out, so you get to see him briefly. I tried to get him on film, but, he's going fast. We're moving around the corner at 30 miles an hour, or however fast we're going. So, but He's not in the film until a little bit up to that where that hill is that you see straight ahead. I think that's about where his house is. Yeah. And it's bumpy, so sorry about that. You look to your left, and you only get a brief glimpse of him because by the time I notice him coming at me, you see him running at me right now. There he is. He's coming. Okay, I need to pause for a minute, so we're going to practice and see if I can pause the video and pick up where we left off. We'll see. We're back to recording. I hope that worked. We'll see. I'll spend a whole hour and a half sitting here talking and find out later if it worked or not. About to make another turn to our right. And on the left, shortly after this turn, there'll be a church, and that's where we usually pull off and have our first break where, well, except for the hill, where I have to stop and catch my breath and gather the lungs that are laying on the floor and put them back in my body. Other than that, this is our first stop for a break where we get something to drink, and I usually eat some almonds and part of a protein bar or something like that. And then we go on our merry way. There's some horses. I guess I don't need to tell you that. You know what a horse looks like. Isn't he pretty? Or she? Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love the dark one. The darker colors are my favorite. And there's a donkey. Pretty sure he's a donkey, not a mule. He looks like a donkey. That's just so beautiful. I'm sitting here watching it with you right now, or watching it by myself right now as I talk to you to tell you about the ride. And I'm just thinking how beautiful that is. It's just so, so beautiful. We're pulling over to let a car go by, I think, or a motorcycle. Yeah, it's a motorcycle. And then he winds up pulling into the house coming up. There's a house in the video. I won't point it out directly and tell you which one it is, but because my husband says it's not a good idea, but I'm convinced a serial killer lives there. Weird things happen at that house. And that's the little playful guy. And we're going to pull forward in a minute and get a better shot of him. But he's the one that decides that he's going to do a little running for us. And we keep moving the car to try to get a better position and pull off the side of the road a little bit the best we can and see through. There's some bushes along the fence line, and so, you know, it's just not real steady. And of course I catch the horse that has to go to the bathroom. Sorry. I might as well include all nature and keep it real, right? I just love those dark colored horses. They are so beautiful. I love how they look at you too. They're so interested. The horses in the beginning of the video, they pretty much ignore me when I ride by. The mule is the one that watches. There he goes. Isn't that beautiful? And the bush got in the way, so we're trying to move again, and I could watch him all day. I'm trying to reposition in the car to get a better position so that I can video better and get around the bushes, but, you know, right now you're just going to see some fence. Sorry, there he goes again. I never claimed to be an expert video maker. Then he gets behind those bushes and he kind of hangs back there for a while, and you can't really see him do anything anymore, so we move on pretty quick. But that was just enjoyable. They paved this road too. They paved a lot of roads out there just recently. A lot of little country houses. You find a little country house, and then not too long after that you'll find a big beautiful brick home. It's just you never know what you're going to find. Sorry, I gotta drink my shake while I'm talking to you because everything's going to melt. More beautiful pasture. And on the left-hand side, there's always 3 horses that hang out by the gate. Today, they weren't by the gate because of the time of day. They were further out in their fields. But I think you can see them from a distance, either on the way out or on the way back. I'm not sure. There's some bumps on this road that I have to drive over on my bike that I have to stand up to get over, because if you don't, your whole body's jarred. And man, it hurts my wrists when we go over them. They're like little water trenches or something, like drainage lines or something, and they're ruts in the road, and it's rather hard on the body to go across them. Sorry, my ice. We're heading out to Swamp Road. Swamp Road is my favorite road to ride on. There are a few little places out there where it looks kind of swampy, where there's water, like a pond or something. And it might have been more like that at some point, and that's why it got its name. I don't know. Or maybe it gets that way more during certain times of the year. I just recently started riding out here, so I don't know. But it looks swampish sometimes. And I love riding on that road. There's some corn. You'll know when we get to Swamp Road. I'll show you the sign. I think I was trying to show you some horses or goats or something back there, but I couldn't focus in fast enough. I love the open fields out there. I just love how open it is. I dread the day that they get a hold of this land and want to build housing projects on it and stuff. It just kills me when I see land sold and built on. And I know that where I live was probably once a pasture. And there goes my clock. You'll probably hear my clock. My dad gave me that clock a few years ago, several years ago. Here we go, Swamp Road. And I know we have to have housing, but I just think there comes a point where they get ridiculous with the way they build. The area that I live, the houses are spaced apart. They're not right next to each other. There's lots of room around each other. It's very nice and well developed. There's lots of trees. These new neighborhoods that they're building, they're right up next, the houses are right next to each other, and there's no trees, and it's just so bare and concrete looking, and That makes me sad. Gonna take another pause real quick because I think the video I'm trying to upload for you guys for the chat, an update this week, is ready. And I was looking at that bird because I thought it might be the hawk, but it actually turned out to be a buzzard, so I'll be right back. Okay, we're back trying to finish this recording voiceover. I keep having to pause. I've paused like 3 times now. We're back on Swamp Road, and lots of fields and pastures out here. Beautiful road. I love this road. A lot of farmland. The left, no, I think we're too soon. I thought it was the alpacas, but it's not. There's some mountains in the background. I was trying to figure out what they were growing there, but I can't figure that out. I don't know what it is. When we're on our bikes, we don't stop at the stop sign. We just fly right on through if there's nobody coming. Probably shouldn't do that, but it's out in the country. On the left is where the alpacas live, and they were not out. They were back behind the red barn there with the big chimney, and I caught a brief glimpse of them as we went by and tried to get them for you. But on the way back, we were able to get a better shot. So keep watching it on the way back, which we will be turning around soon. At the end of Swamp Road, we'll be turning around, and you'll be able to see them. I'm trying to zoom in to see the goat and try to see if I can see the alpacas. There's several goats, but I couldn't find the alpacas until we drove a little bit further and saw them behind the barn. Coming up on the left-hand side, there's a little cubbyhole house where a man sits outside on his little porch, and I wave at him every time I go by. It's like one of the highlights of my ride, and you can tell that he notices when we go by and wave, because he gets this excited wave back, because I guess not everybody that drives by sees him there. I just happen to look at things like that and I see him, but we haven't come to him yet. We got stopped at the horses again. He's not outside. I think some kids are on his deck, on his porch. It's just a little tiny cubbyhole place. I wonder how it stays warm in the winter, to be honest. It's not that blue house. It's a little tiny place right next to it. I didn't focus in on it because I noticed people out there, and I didn't want to, I don't know, embarrass them or make them feel uncomfortable by me pointing a camera at their place. But if you saw the blue house, the little gray place next to it is where he always sits. I don't know how old he is, but he looks older. And we're coming up to the stop sign to a major road. Doesn't look very major, I know, but it is a major road. And this is where we stop and turn around. We actually take a break and eat a little bit and rest a little bit, and then we head home. So on the way home, I'm going to pick out the parts of the videos that actually we had stuff that we wanted to look at, and that I wanted you to see, and the rest of it I'm going to fast forward through it and I'll voice over whatever I can that's of interest, okay? Alright, we'll be heading back, and I will let you know whenever there's something interesting to look at. And we'll see the alpacas on the way back too. Okay, we're coming up on the alpacas. They're going to be on the right. I will zoom in as best I can, but like I said, I'm not the best at filming in the back of a car. We did stop, but I was so excited to see them, and I wanted to see them too, so I kept looking around the camera and losing track of them. But there's a baby, and then there's a younger one, like a, I don't know. He's not a baby, but he's not a full grown either. You can see. Aren't they just adorable? I think they're alpacas. Looks like they've been shaved, or the big ones have. See, I got sidetracked. I was looking around my camera. And the big one, I guess, is the mom because the baby keeps sticking close to it. She keeps looking at us. Or maybe it's the dad. I thought the one the baby stuck close to kept looking at us. I don't know. It's hard to tell who's who. I'd love to have an old barn out in the back of my house like that and have some alpacas and just goats and stuff running around that I just don't do anything with but enjoy and give them a good life and let them be happy running around. Don't want to eat them. I just want to look at them. They didn't like us sitting there, so they quit coming toward the fence and turned around. And they were far out, so I didn't get too close to them. But I thought they were really adorable. I think I turned back one more time to get another glance at them. Okay, we're on our way again. We're going to come up to a little goat. I'm going to try and get him on camera, and I'm not sure, do we slow down or not? I think we do. There he is. He's just a little baby. I thought he was cute, so I thought I'd slow down the video so that you could see him up close instead of speeding by. And we're going to keep on going, and pretty soon I'm going to come up upon some goats in a pasture, and I think I'll slow down the video for that and let you see those. Okay, be back with you in a minute. We're coming up to a stop sign. We're going to be turning left. This is getting back on the main road that takes me home, and it's also the road that the hill is on. And so I'm going to slow down the video and going to talk to you through this little part of the road because we're going to come upon the goats, and also because I want to show you the areas where the hill starts to incline again, and at the top of the hill where you can see. So on this road, this is the road that a lot of the goats hang out at, that old car lot, car junkyard, whatever it is. Anyway, on the left-hand side, but again, they're not out, so we don't get to see them. There might be one goat out there, but I didn't stop to focus in on him. So as soon as we get going a little faster, we'll see the goats. And I think at some point my finger is going to show up in the video. As soon as you see my finger, that is showing you where the road starts to climb more. And that's when, that's the part of the hill that we start to go upward to get to the big top, I don't know how to put it. At the big hill that I climb all the time, that I'm always talking about, we're on the other side of it. And when you see my finger, that's where we're really starting to climb up it. It's not as hard. There we go. It's not as hard, but it is an incline. And there's a group of trees on the left-hand side, and I know there's a lot of trees, but there's a group of trees that I use as an indicator that I've gotten as far as I need to get without dying. And once I get there, I know I'm home free. I can get the rest of the hill. Okay, there's the bunch of the goats. And there's one that has his head stuck in the fence, and if you look close, there's a dog. Right there. See the dog? He's the little goat keeper, and he protects his goats at all costs. He comes to the fence and lets us know that we're too close. See, he's coming now. But when we ride by, he barks and chases us down the road because he doesn't want anybody bothering his goats. But there's a baby goat that's caught in the fence right there. They get caught like that all the time, and they get out. And if they don't get out, somebody comes and gets them out. And sometimes my husband will even stop and help them out. But we didn't stop today, but we feel like that he'll be fine. And that group of trees on the left is the trees that I aim for to get to, and that I know I'm pretty much almost to the top of the hill, and it's psychologically easier for me once I get to those trees for some reason. I'm usually in my lowest gear by now, which is saying something. And on both sides is the goat farms that we passed on the way out that I talked to you about, that the goats always come down to the fence. That's where we're at. We're almost back to the beginning. And I will zoom in when we get to the top of this hill and show you the city of Murfreesboro. At night, if you come and climb this hill and sit at the top, you can look backwards, and when the city is all lit up, you see the whole city of Murfreesboro. It's absolutely gorgeous. I wish they could find a better way to use telephone lines and stuff, but see, it's kind of fuzzy, hazy, but all that is the city of Murfreesboro, and at night it's lit up like just a candle with thousands of lights on it. And now we're at the top of the hill, and at some point I hold my brakes on the way down because you can go very, 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 very fast on the way down this side of the hill. So I hold my brakes until we get past this road, and then a little bit further up is when I finally let go of my brakes and I let my speed pick up. And I might get up to, well, I don't know what happened there. I might get up to 45 miles per hour. Oh, we stopped there because I rescued my hat. That's what happened. And the rest of this way, I can coast home. Well, I can't coast home, but because I have to make a lot of turns to get to my house. But on this road, to coast to the road I need to turn on, on this road, I can coast almost to the road I need to turn on, except for at the very end, I have to pedal uphill again. But I do a lot of coasting down this hill, and you can go like 20 miles per hour, 21, 22, for the most part, all the way down. Once you get on a level part of the hill, after you hit the speed of 45 and 50 miles per hour, you slow down to about 20 to coast. There's some cows. I wish I could redo what I just said because it sounded like a bunch of mumble jumble, but I can't redo it. You'll just have to live with it. I'm sorry. This is my very first voiceover, my very first tour, my very first everything. So we will get better at this. I say we because you're in on it with me. And we're going to come up to the donkey again. Not donkey. He's a mule. We're going to come up to the mule and the horses again. And forgive me in advance for the mule. It's not my fault. He was in a condition that I didn't even notice at first, but I did at the end of the video, or at the end of the time looking at him. But, you know, it's nature. You can't do anything about it. I couldn't tell him in advance I was coming with a camera, so. There's the mule. And I know that we were stopped, and you could probably hear the voice commentary being stopped, but I'm voicing over it. But I know I was saying something of the effect of, and on camera too, of all days. And if you didn't notice, that's fine. Just keep going. I'm going to fast forward again. Well, no, I'll just go on to the end. I think we're almost to the end where I'm going to stop the video. If you hang in, at the end of this video, I'm going to take the, like I said, the other video that I filmed that didn't turn out as well. I'm going to pull out parts of it that I like the cow that I got close up on, and I don't know, there might have been some goats and things like that. So if you like nature and you want to see it, just hang around and I'll put that at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the tour, the little bike path. And I'll do more for you at some point. It's really a long process to do this, but if you're enjoying it and you like it, I'll try to do more. And if you don't, you're free to fast forward or skip videos. You don't have to watch them. This is the bridge. We always speed up, start picking up our pace. You want to finish well, so we pick up our pace to come on in. And there's one more hill to climb before I actually start making turns to try to go to my house. And probably pretty much after that hill is where I stop the video. I don't take you to my house. And that's it. I think this is the hill. And I will see you guys later, and I'll put the extra clips in behind this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Waving goodbye. Oh, and I wanted to show you the ducks. We pulled into one of the roads we have to turn on, and there was ducks resting under the tree, so I thought I'd give you a quick look at that.
Hi guys, it is Saturday, July 5th, and I'm about to take you on my bike ride. Except I'm in a car, in a convertible, but I'm going to film it for you since I can't.
Okay, we're at the end of the video. We finished the video. This is the little takes from the first video I filmed, and I don't know what that little blurb was that you just heard about getting in the car and going for a bike ride. I can't find that video or that audio anywhere in the program to delete it, so I'm sorry about that, but I just left it in there. Anyway, there's a few takes left that I just showed you. That's actually a horse. I was thinking it was a mule at first, but it's really a horse. We ran into some horses and some dogs and some cows that were playing and a few other things. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and that you enjoyed the little tour. I'm sorry that it's over an hour long. I really tried to edit it and get it down small enough so that it wouldn't be so long for you guys, but it's impossible when you've got as long a bike ride as I take to video. So for those of you who did watch it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see y'all later. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let this play out to the very end in silence, okay? Because I'm tired of talking. Can you tell I'm hoarse? I've done 2 videos and a voiceover video of an hour and something long for you today. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great week. Bye-bye.